And 16. There we go. Oh! 16-5, magical, and popping off. I think that's a one bet in my book.
It is. It is. We never decided what the bet was going to be, though.
Oh, I decided during the game. I get to tweet anything off of your Twitter account now. So actually, let's send it. I actually sent it to you in Discord, so you can tweet that out now. Then we can turn this into a Twitter bit at some point. Like this is how it started, this is how it's going, something like that. I'm sure Austin.
I'm gonna
he's
stop
up on
you
the
there
trends
because this is something I probably would tweet.
Well, sure. I'm just trying to get more of the word out there so that there are more Pantheon lovers.
I'll say very tame. I was expecting far more.
Well, I had to come up with it within 2 minutes of us going live on the broadcast.
You should have gone with what Josh was talking about.
I was more so thinking about the fact that I have 16 tally marks in my head. The amount of kills that Anda participated in game number 1 right there for TSM Academy. And because of that win, that means the final game of the day actually has 0 stakes. Golden Guardians needed to 2-0 in order to get 9th place. That means they're locked. Golden Guardians will play against Evil Genius Prodigies in the first round of play-ins, and Maryville will be up against TSM. So that means we could just have a fun game to close out the regular season.
Please. Well, I did send the tweet, so maybe
you
Pantheon
sent it?
support.
Okay.
Maybe.
Oh, Pantheon support. Okay, which one would play? Do you think Mia plays Pantheon support?
Nah, it's Prismal. It's Prismal.
It's got to be Prismal.
Absolutely Prismal.
All right, I'll shoot Prismal a message right now. Although I think they might already be getting.
I think they might already be a champ
relatively soon. Yeah.
He would be the first player to respond to DMs while they were in Academy Champ Select. There happens to be a certain 100 Thieves top laner who I know does that exact thing.
Yeah, no, Tenacity's kind of notorious for that one. I'll just call him out by name right there. But let's take a look at some of the plays that happened in game number 1 because TSM Academy, I don't remember which one of you said it. Somebody said they are shaping up like a scary second half of the split, more so just late split resurgence of a team.
Yeah, Golden Guardians, right? They have been going for a lot of plays. This is the kind of rotation I was initially expecting from players like Rosethorn, right? When just having him go from one buff, loop all the way around to come in from a weird angle, there was not a whole lot that TSM could do to react to that. But at the end of it, it's definitely we see moments of brilliance. It's still a game that feels like it has a lot more emphasis on how the individuals are doing than perhaps the same kind of macro play. And it feels like everyone had at least one good moment this game.
It might not have been the most macro intensive, but magical. Damn, it was fun. That was an enjoyable game to watch just from a viewer perspective.
Honestly, I had a lot of fun as well. I'm really rooting for both these teams. I mean, I root for any Academy team. I'm a big Academy stan. Whenever I see any team, even the bottom of the standings starting to pop off, I'm like, yes, let's go. This is great. Like you said, maybe not the most macro, but just seeing the mechanics of players throughout this game. Mia on those handshakes and how well he was able to do. Soul, back in Academy, showing, hey, this guy is pretty good at the top lane. There's a reason why more people should look at him, especially for the future when it comes to LCS. I'm not talking about immediately, because he's got the growth still to work on, and I think he's getting there. I think he is so much closer to being back into the LCS as like the actual definitive top laner that he has always been building himself up to be.
So many close moments throughout this game. It was back and forth. I think Golden Guardians Academy, especially like we were saying, leader, he did deliver a lot in this. But Josh, you had said something before. Individual performers compared to team play, compared to team fighting. I do think that TSM across the board seemed like they had a better understanding, at least to me, of when to go in, when to pull the trigger, everybody go at the same time. Oftentimes Golden Guardians, it was plays like this, where TSM's engaging into them, and then Golden Guardians are trying to do something to counter. But I never felt like once we got to the second half of the game that it was really like Golden Guardians dictating the tempo or the pacing of the game.
That's a draft gap, Kangas. Let's be real about that.
Okay.
They don't have tools. They don't have tools to start these fights.
Yeah.
Right? You are basically waiting for TSM to try and take a fight. And this was the one moment where I was like, uh-oh, TSM. This was a bit of an overextension, but even this was only a 1-for-1 because the tools were just not there on the side of Golden Guardians. And we see, right, like the 5-man wild growth coming through from Prismal. It's not just about finding these individual plays. The one person who I feel was playing for the team more than themselves the entire time was Mia, consistently helping out Tactical during a lot of these fights. And you saw that once Tactical stopped dying in the team fights, they were winning.
Soul was also finding a lot of really clutch engages too. I want to give credit there.
I want to give Soul all the credit, because I think how many times he landed these great Gnar ults as well to catch people just slightly out of position like there. Getting a Ray. He had so many crucial Gnar ults throughout this entire game.
Is this the fight I think it is? Yeah, this was weird. Yep.
So, this, like you were saying, draft gap, I feel like Golden Guardians were starting to feel a little desperate. Concept going in way too far right there. I mean, we even saw Acadian go for the Iceborne Gauntlet into, Grievous Wound Chainsaw. A very strange build for Viego. I know you can build a lot of things on it, but I've actually never seen that one in particular, just because they wanted a bigger front line. They wanted something beefier.
It's becoming more common. Right? It's becoming a lot more common, especially on this patch. But it is something where you just need somebody to stand in front. They were never able to create that front line for Array. And while we were expecting him to be a ray of hope, he never really got to the spot where he was able to just hit uncontested during these team fights. There was too much pressure from Soul, too much pressure from Takeover, too much pressure from Anda for him to ever just free hit against all of these diving champions.
And I talked about this in Champion Select, where they drafted that Akali of R3 for Golden Guardians. That should have been Tom Kench. I think that was one of their big mistakes when it came to the draft. Even if it doesn't necessarily fix the issues of how do they engage the fights, it does solve the issue of how do they make sure Array is safe.
And I believe that we do actually have an update here, because Magical did, in fact, live up to the bet. There we go. Thank you, Magical, for tweeting that one out. Already, for a Magical tweet, this is banging.
That's pretty calm.
This is actually...
banging?
This is banging for a Magical tweet.
Dude, please. This is tame.
It's already at 4 likes. It's only been 5 minutes. It's almost 1 minute.
Oh, you also have 2 copies. I just refreshed the page. The like count didn't go up, but you have 2 comments.
All right, nice.
Oh, there we go.
Right.
Even better. The impressions are constantly rising. Thank you, Kingus, for helping out Magical.
I didn't have a banging song that I recorded with Deserex earlier today that was doing some numbers. Yeah.
No, I think that was getting numbers because of Deserex's part. Magical. Let's get one thing clear right there. But
I'd like to see you do some music sometime.
Oh, did you hear me and Darshan? We're actually working on a piece right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, that's
and
a
then
secret.
Darshan's gonna carry you.
Well, yeah, you utilize other broadcast talent to carry you. I utilize players. That's the difference between us.
All right. Fair. I'm not going to argue this, mostly because I have already won. I already have a song released, and that's all that matters.
Well, let's see who wins game number 2. The final game of the regular split summer for Academy, and there's nothing at stake, so let's see what the players decide to bring our way. Throw it over to Magical and Joshi.
Thank you so much, and with this draft already well underway, we're not seeing anything spicy. They're going back to some tried and true. Acadian this time getting Trundle, but we'll see if we get that spice. Please. Again, this game does not hold any stakes. So mostly the things that are on the line is just pride. Trying to go into Proving Grounds on a high note for both teams, and the fact that we're seeing very similar drafts of what we saw previously is going to indicate that both teams are taking this very seriously.
I'm a little disappointed, right? How are we supposed to go out on the last game of Academy with no stakes? And
there you go!
There we go. We're going to see a bit more spice coming through already. And I don't know how much he's played this year, right? It's not something that has been particularly popular. We saw players like Hyper doing it a little bit. You saw bits and pieces of this champion coming through. But Golden Guardians, they have a very stock standard composition. And I said before that Golden Guardians, they really shouldn't care about the results a whole lot during the regular season. It's just another block of scrims. It's just another way for you to try and build up reps of playing together, get this shot calling down. And so, they're taking that very seriously. They do want to try and find another win because they want to use this time as well as they can, because as you said, Proving Ground starts next week. You do not have that many days of scrims before you have to start showing what you can do again.
Right. That's why it's also really difficult to even go on the last game, even if you're not really fighting for standings, to say, they should play for fun.
But I want them to.
I know you want them to, but all the teams want practice. They want to get better. They want to really be able to prove themselves in the Proving Grounds. That is why it's named that. They want to show that even if they had a rough season, that they have learned from it. They have developed a lot of these talents. You look at TSM, developing Soul, developing Takeover, then Golden Guardians trying to develop Concept more, Array more, Prismal, even getting swapped in pretty last minute with the trade where Chime went to TSM, and Leader finally on the board.
Yeah. Leader looked pretty good last game, right? He was really trying to make a lot of things happen without a whole lot of support from the rest of his team. He was consistently able to pick up Tactical during the first half of the game, right? And create a lot of space where Tactical wasn't able to participate. And so, as Golden Guardians come through, they give him a very different champion than we're used to seeing him on. And Shyvana
That's a
gets picked up the concept.
That's a blind Shyvana, too. Normally, we see it in... Oh, yeah, no, you're right. But the thing is, I think what bothers me and what's just weird about it is it's not... No, it's not. That's Trundle top. That's Shyvana jungle. Because usually Shyvana's only played into Gangplank. That is going to be Concept playing Trundle.
Shyvana's pretty good in Dinar, actually. You have a lot of movement speed to get in. I actually have this is one of the few matchups that I've run into some of my own friends in solo queue, and we used to play this matchup a couple times, all the time against each other. Realistically, both these champions could be played, but I would much rather play the Gnar into the Trundle than I would into the Shyvana. And so, I'm expecting this to be a Concept Shyvana, but it is an opportunity for them to both bring it through. TSM going to be bringing Tactical and Mia back to the Xayah and Rakan, try and be very aggressive at the very beginning, but we're back to a very similar position from game 1, where Golden Guardians, as they round out this draft, they're relying on flanks. They're relying on ways to come in from unusual angles. And it means that TSM have a lot more agency as to who they're hitting in the fights. They can choose their targets way better than Golden Guardians can.
I just want to see if it is going to be flex round. I think the things that are bothering me is I haven't seen Concept play the Shyvana. Even though it does kind of suit what
he's played a lot of things you haven't seen him play before.
I was about to say, he's played a lot of things. But the Trundle pick is just one of those picks where he's been willing to flex into the top lane and has had great performance on that champion. Which is why I'm kind of holding on hope that maybe we get the Troll Toll top lane and have Shyvana, the AP variant that I absolutely love. But it does seem that it is going to be Shyvana top into Gnar. So I want you to discuss this a little bit more. Why is it so hard for Gnar to lane up against Shyvana?
Because you're fast as Shyvana, right? You are so fast with the W, the burnout. You get that fire spinning around you, you run people down, and it's not that difficult to use the ultimate to try and interrupt Gnar's hop, right? You just get on top of him, and then you stay on top of him, burn him out, and it is very difficult for Gnar to really play up against this in the really long lanes, because the Shyvana will typically go Frostfire Gauntlet, and then you have a choice between like Blade of the Ruined King, Titanic Hydra, and Demonic Embrace, depending on how you want to help your team composition's damage profile round out.
I kind of feel like this might be Demonic Embrace, just because when you look at what they have, Rise is going to be a good amount of AP, but that is the only damage source in AP for your team. You have Trundle, you have Jinx that are both going to be pretty heavy on the AD side, as well as with Trundle being able to chomp people, steal their AD themselves. But honestly, I'm just excited. Like, we weren't excited at first. It looked like a very tame draft. But then suddenly, we get Lee Sin, Xayah Rakan bot lane. We get the Shyvana top. I'm excited for it. I don't care if you're not excited for it, because let's get on to the Rift for our final game of the season, of the split between Golden Guardians Academy, TSM Academy, fighting for pride and glory, momentum that they can use to get themselves a great position in their first best of 3 when they play in the play-ins of Proving Grounds.
Can't believe you think I'm not excited for this game. TSM Golden Guardians was just a banger. I just wish we had some more exciting champions, some more weird champions coming through, and I feel like that's something that, you would be very sympathetic to, Magical.
What kind of weird are you talking about, though?
We could see Rammus come through as something.
There's not that much
Pantheon support.
I would like the Pantheon support. I feel like Prismal should have gone that. Pyke's not. I don't
Pyke
think
mid, Teemo?
Pyke mid. Okay. Teemo?
Literally anywhere.
Yeah.
Garen mid.
No, that's a concept champion. There's no way it would be anyone but concept playing it.
Yeah, I know, because they're cowards. But Takeover, spawning out the invade coming through from Golden Guardians.
On down Soul as well. But it's just going to be the ward placed down. Takeover sees the retreat from Golden Guardians. Nothing will be answered by TSM. They're not going to be able to push out any further. It's a bit late for them to try to get a ward on top of blue buff of Golden Guardians. So, there'll be knowledge gained by Golden Guardians when they notice that it's not going to be the start top for Anda. It is going to be that red.
It is going to be same side starts or opposite sides. You know, they're both starting at their red buff.
What is it?
You
Mirrored
guys know what we're
starts?
talking about. Mirrored starts, that'll work. As Golden Guardians are now going to be shifting. They're going to be doing the exact same path, is what it's looking like. And Anda, you know, has been one of the players that is less likely to go for early ganks and more likely to just consistently farm during the early stages of the game as he looks for
Understandable.
opportunities
But
to
this is Lee Sin.
prevent things from happening.
It's Lee Sin, though. You can't really play passively
Sin.
on Lee Sin early into the game. I feel like Lee Sin is one of those champions you have to be looking for early ganks with.
You ought to be. You should be looking for a lot of these skirmishes, but I've definitely seen Anda play this a lot more defensively as the Lee Sin than a lot of other Lee Sins will go for, just because you have, you know, some decent opportunities to play regardless as long as you use that kick. And you can use a lot of your power in order to get your lanes very strong, and that's the kind of player Anda tends to be. He will go for a lot more farm than he will for ganks, but now, as he's crossing towards the top side, he was at least thinking about going mid.
He was thinking about it for a
He
second.
thought about it.
Leader, does he spot him out? I don't think Leader noticed him at all. But Anda is going to hang around the bot side preemptively for the side because they spotted out Acadian with that ward. They'll spot out Leader as well. Now they've got Anda here to try to save the life of both Tactical and Mia. It might be a little bit too late. Grand Entrance is going to be able to get the knock up, but nothing further. Golden Guardians already calling off the play.
And Golden Guardians, good call to not continue for the dive. Acadian, a little bit happier with the situation, right? Because even though the play doesn't actually mean anything, one, he's closer to this dragon. They have, not the dragon, to the Scuttle Crab. They have already go grab that. He's also closer to his camps. And also, he's Trundle. He doesn't care about his money. He doesn't need to necessarily be ahead. He will be useful
But
no
what about
matter
the
what.
troll toll?
Well, what? Could you expand on what the troll toll means to you? Because there's a lot of tolls that trolls can extol.
It's the troll toll. It's just the troll toll. You gotta pay the troll toll. Have you never encountered a troll under a bridge?
Well, I haven't seen you under a bridge yet.
That's literally where I live on Saturdays. You just don't visit me enough. That's what you're saying. What in the world was that? Now Mia looking dicey, but they got damage on the Prismal. The flash away with this heal. It's Mia in danger. Array will sacrifice nothing because he got the kill.
Mia!
Yeah, I saw that too. Let's not focus on Mia. Let's focus on Array and praise Array with Array and Prismal with how they're able to react to the play.
All right, Array, you are looking mighty ravishing today.
Though Prismal, that was. You gotta
Prismal, you were looking pretty darn good as well, and
you gotta respect the feathers.
you gotta be a bit more respectful than that. But it ends up being a spot where that was uncharacteristic to say the least. That was a really awkward position from Mia, and once you start pressing all your buttons, there's not a whole lot of options.
Now Leader in a lot of trouble. Good answer from TSM, making sure the bot lane play was not for naught. You got a kill for Anda.
I actually like the proactive flash from Takeover there, expecting Leader to instantly flash away. But as we watch this, yeah.
He just hit the wrong buttons at the wrong time. That's all it is.
That's an unforced error, right? And Magical, can we agree on that one?
That is very much an unforced error.
Yeah.
But
All
Array punishing that, getting a kill for Jinx. Even if Anda was able to make the play work mid lane, bringing up Mia to get something back on the map for the team after fumbling the play bot lane a little bit. It is going to be about how this Lee Sin can translate leads elsewhere, because this is why I was looking at Anda to make plays early. Lee Sin is just one of those champs. I think that if you don't try to make plays early on into the game, then why'd you bother picking him?
Because it's fun. I mean, Lee Sin just has a lot of brawling power, right? Even with the Gourd Drinker, he really has a prime relevance early on, but it's not as though he becomes irrelevant later on in the game. You do have a lot of tools to pick the targets that you're actually going for in ways that the Golden Guardians can't really match. And the amount of mobility he has, the safety he has in his own jungle, because he can just hop over walls, allows him to be much better than a lot of other junglers for longer periods of time.
Fair point. And Anda with a little bit of experience lead over Acadian at the moment, having one camp above him as well as that kill. Trying to fight back against control that Trundle is gaining over the Dragon camp. Bot lane, pushing back for Golden Guardians. will start slowly creeping their way, but they got control over bot lane. They got a little bit of control in mid lane as well.
As they take over this Dragon Pit, it's so difficult for a takeover to really do anything right. Just as you called out, Golden Guardians have control of the mid lane, and Mia's the only one who comes in to check.
Ooh, but he's pulled back in by Handshake and blocked away by both the Pillar and Choppers, but somehow he's able to dance his way out of the battle.
The extra Battle Dance range coming in clutch. So far, a very even game between these two sides, right? We're not seeing either team build up a big advantage. The Dragon is currently the major difference maker because we're even in kills, even in gold. And Anda comes in for the pressure gank, saying, hey, let's get this wave underneath the turret so Takeover can roam with me, can go for a back, and can just generally leave lane. And they are already shifting towards the top side. Concept has most of his ult up, but there's also a red buff for them to play for.
Red buff with Acadian nearby, but now he sees Takeover in the vicinity. Instead, look to see if they can punish Takeover. There's a Blackstone away for both TSM members to take, but Concept... oh, yeah, Dragons have set up. I was expecting to see if they wanted to fully engage on that fight, but I think they noticed that Mia's not in the bot lane.
So they will have to back away. The red buff is still up, and it looks as though TSM are going to try and make a second pass at it, right? You already see Mia still chilling out there. And Golden Guardians, they don't have the same kind of engage pressure or the dive pressure in the bottom lane because Acadian, they know that he is on the top side of the map, and the red buff will get picked up here for TSM. And there you go, just leaving immediately after TSM get away with the heist.
And they might...
oh, and they're just doing the Herald?
No, I think they use it for mobility to get it out of there. They can see that there is going to be a bit of reinforcements. Again, bot lane missing. Like, hey, they might be sending everyone up here to contest. They also have to worry that Concept has that dragon form available. There is a lot going against TSM around this objective.
Golden Guardians, as they started up, right? Soul has no rage bar. Mia just chilling in the wings, right? We saw this around the Dragon, almost went down. TSM. I mean, you're level 4 there, Mia.
No,
Leader's literally double your level.
No, you don't go for this one, Mia. They spotted you out as well. I'm surprised they didn't turn for that. It will be secured by Acadian. The rest of Golden Guardians bailing out of the fight. There's Prismal spotting out Mia. Just trading a bit of damage back onto him and Takeover, but they got their objective. They got the eye while Tactical was getting a bunch of plates in the bot lane.
Yeah. How well do you know Mia as a player, Alex? Because I'm actually curious if Mia's the kind of player who will, you know, miss that flash and then laugh about it, or if he's the kind of player who'll be, you know, frustrated himself for the rest of the game. Because that's another W that just came up just a little bit short. And it feels as though that's the kind of thing where I feel like Mia would normally hit those kind of things, but maybe he's getting in his own head.
Could be. I'll be honest, I don't know Mia on a personal level.
He doesn't stream very much either.
No, but what I gained from the interactions that we've had with him when it comes to like interviews and stuff like that, he seems like he has a really good jovial mindset about things where he can laugh things off and be like, yeah, that was my fault. But I also think that there are times when, especially in a game, he can get inside of his own head.
So we'll see how well he kind of bounces back, because that's a couple of plays coming through for Mia where he's not necessarily living up to his own high expectations that we know he has for himself, and his Tactical gets stopped yet again. He's sitting on a lot of gold because he never showed up for the Rip Herald play or any of the shenanigans around the red buff. Golden Guardians, you know, do have a small lead that has been given over to Tactical, but it's largely going to be equalized here because Golden Guardians prevent Tactical from playing the lane the way he wants to.
Getting another plate as well for Ray this time around with the engage attempted by Mia, but he is locked down. That's the problem that Rakan has into both Renata Gloss and Jinx.
Yeah, the roots come through, and as the Rift Herald gets dropped down, this entire turret gets picked up from Golden Guardians, and suddenly Array stopping Tactical's back a lot more impactful than it was looking like before, as suddenly Golden Guardians jump off to a rather large gold lead, 2,000 already. Now they're going to try and crash this. Tactical does not have the wave play to do this all by himself.
No, and he's thrown out some feathers. That's going to be the pillar thrown out. He does have at least some safety with his ult that he can always get out of dodge, but that secondary charge onto this tier 2 in the bot lane. Golden Guardians are in a good position at the moment. It's been slow and methodical from them. They've got 2 kills. The only 2 kills they have of the game. Poured onto Array, and I wish that the bet was for this game, not the previous one.
Well, there's still plenty of League of Legends left to play, Magical. We will take a look at that, see if Kingas will go double or nothing with you. With another dragon spawning in about 20 seconds, Golden Guardians a little bit late to it, and so they spent all their tempo, spent all their time on the map, pushing as far as they can, and now it's TSM's turn. They're going to be pushing forward, and recognizes that everyone on Golden Guardians should be backing away, get some deeper vision to play with, and now it's difficult for Golden Guardians to walk back.
They'll be spotted out on their journey back into the bot lane. Gideon right there spotted. Probably wants to get wolves before pathing to the bot lane, or he wants to make sure he's already set up so they don't know. Well, no, they actually do know where Anda is. They spotted him out on that ward, so they should have the information that he's there in the pixel brush. Gideon went in, but he does not have subjugate, so it could have been risky from the play that aggressively.
Yeah, Leader also picks up the priority in the mid lane, so Golden Guardians retaking control of the Dragon Pit. Concept is already rotated most of the way down, so while he will give up a plate, his team should be able to get the Dragon.
Alright, so this game, definitely tamer. Definitely a slower paced game for both teams. And with the game that, I mean, we could say it doesn't matter, but for the players, it's just the mindset, and it matters a lot for them on how they can go into the proving grounds, how they can see themselves on a hot streak or not. We've seen both teams performing very well recently. Even with Soul having played a bit in LCS, then coming back into Academy, we've seen that he's able to bounce back pretty well. And he's a player that has a lot of development behind him that I think in the future he is going to be a top laner. But I kind of want to try to see if we can build up this game a little bit more. What you and I can do to make this more exciting for the viewers, since the stakes aren't really
we
there.
Make more bets.
You want to make more bets? All right, what do you want to bet?
Let's do over/under.
Okay.
Game time.
I'm gonna go with over 35.
Over 35?
Yeah.
Okay, sure. No? Our observer's saying no. Don't take the bet. Alright, what does that mean? Do you think it should be higher or lower?
Wait, don't take the bet. Is it like me don't take the bet?
Higher?
So
okay,
I was
okay.
right.
He thinks this game is going longer.
Okay, so observers are on my side. They're gonna go higher.
Okay, okay. Now what if would you still be willing to take over 37?
I think that's a yes.
Alright. I will take under 37.
Okay. So 37 seconds.
Alright, we'll do the same thing.
37
It's the tweet bet.
minutes. Yeah, sure. Okay. Right now, Concept is fighting against Soul. The flash comes in from Anda. Does not hit Sonic Wave, though. And so the rest of Golden Guardians can push in mid. They've got Mia locked down. He tried to re-engage the fight, but so much damage was laid out by Golden Guardians that they have to back off of the fight, even if Anda's able to show.
Yeah, that's the second time TSM have kind of had a weird, unforced error on their flash, right? It feels as though TSM maybe a bit frazzled, which is a little bit odd because they were winning the previous game, right? They were in control,
but sometimes,
and now TSM.
Sometimes when you have a game like that, when you're winning in the early stretches of the game, and even if you win the game, it was a well-fought battle by Golden Guardians. That can get in your head. I've seen that before, where a team wins a game, but it was really close. Yeah, teams, not often, but they can get ahead. They can get ahead. It could be a tumultuous mid game, and even if they win, they're kind of looking at how the mid game went out and how they weren't able to do as well as they know they can. So it is something that it's all mental. It's all in your head, and that's why I always try to say for teams how they can come back, how they can bounce back into this game, and forget about the first game, even if you win. Just forget about that previous game. Focus on what is at hand, and TSM are now engaging. They got the knockup on Acadian. Concept still has Dragon's Ascent. Can dive into the backline, and with the fact that Takeover's in the bot lane with TP available, would get a bit risky at the moment for TSM if they get caught out too far. The burst potential out of members of Golden Guardians would be there, but there's going to be the TP already used by Takeover, so he is a part of the fight. They're flashing away. They're getting some dashes out. Looking to see if they can get the Feather Storm 2 with a root onto Acadian. But Takeover is in a little bit of danger against Leader. Sealing away hostile Takeover from Brittle. That's the Dragon's Ascent getting damaged. And a hostile Takeover for hostile Takeover. It's not even used. Takeover did not use it to save his bot lane nor jungler. Instead, they're the ones getting ripped apart. And you can tell that Acadian Concept, they're like, yeah, let's gain everything. Let's get turrets. But now There's a re-engage in mid lane. A hostile takeover that was stolen by Takeover with a Ray so low, but he had bailout. It would have been risky.
Yeah, TSM, I mean, they just feel so much slower to respond than they did in Game 1. Golden Guardians, they feel much more invigorated. So, you know, it might be the fact that TSM just feel too relaxed, right? They're with no pressure. They don't care quite as much. And so Golden Guardians, they're still trying to use this as scrim time. They're still trying to use this to be aggressive.
But now Soul, he's getting a lot of damage. Flashing for it as well. Hyperstack. One more auto. The boomerang takes a solo kill. The student surpasses the master.
And Soul, I mean, he doesn't look frustrated. He doesn't look frazzled. He's just ready to go for these fights. But TSM, right, they move in and out of this play. The pillar is fantastic in slowing their ability to move around the fight. But it takes them forever to decide, you know, how they actually want to play this. In the hostile takeover, when it comes out, controls so much space as it hops over the wall, catching 3 people. And so Golden Guardians, they're just willing to pull the trigger in ways that TSM are not, and it's creating so much more space than the Dragon.
Oh, I like that.
Oh,
that was cool.
That was cool. That's cool animation.
We've had some really good cinematics this week, gotta say.
Yeah.
Now,
Shoutouts to the observers. Let's go, Lauren and Andy.
they're doing a great job, and they always do a great job, to be honest. I'm always happy to have them as our observers. We got to get back into this game because TSM have an angle. They look to see if they can try to dive on it to Prismal with the TP use. It will scare him off. Tactical took too much damage. Dragon Ascent getting damage with a fireball on the other side of the wall, but Tactical survives. The fight on the other side from Takeover trying to chase down Acadian. They will finally lose Takeover and Mia for a double kill out of our Dragon.
There you go. There's the Realm Walker. It's not done.
That's a fireball. That's damage. And that's a kill for Prismal. GG. Definitely not done and looking to bounce back and tie up the series at 1 apiece.
Yeah, Golden Guardians, they're turning things around even with no stakes on the line. They want this to be good practice. They're trying to continue building the good habits. And I do gotta admit, I gotta apologize to our observers. I did not realize that Victor had rejoined the crew.
Oh, Victor's that
Welcome back.
Yes.
What?
No?
Is that a no? Joey just told me it was Victor.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
We're getting trolled.
Well,
We're getting trolled. But there we go. Speaking of troll, the troll helps out Jinx from Arcane. Take the 3rd dragon of the game, Golden Guardians. They're 1 away from getting that soul. And with how this game has started to blow up in their favor, it is looking really dire for TSM.
yeah, TSM still looking for ways to try and get something done, but Golden Guardians are the ones making all of the moves. Golden Guardians are the ones taking control, and it feels as though they're still playing with the same kind of mentality that they had in the first game, where they still want to play to win. They're still looking to try and make things happen, and TSM, you know, they're making odd decisions. It feels as though they are not on the same page, and maybe they've already discounted this game. They're looking towards Proving Grounds already, and for them, this is mostly just a formality. Because Golden Guardians, they're firing, right? Leaders making things happen. Arrays constantly going forward.
Concept with those flanks looking pretty good on Shyvana. Living up to what you talked about, the Shyvana matchup in Tanar. Even if he got solo killed by Soul earlier on, it's how he chases down from there, utilizing Ghost when it's up, but it still has a bit of a cooldown left on it, so you won't see Concept join for quite a bit of time, at least not until that's available. That, or if he wants to engage the fight with Dragon's Descent.
Yeah. And remember, Golden Guardians, they don't have great engage tools. They are largely relying on finding these flank angles or allowing TSM to move themselves into corridors. And as Takeover has to leave, Golden Guardians continue to create pressure on the top side of the map. They should get a turret, and
Soul gets it, but this is what you talk about, the difficult point. With Soul kiting back, Fireball slows them down, still getting the hypersex. Soul playing this out immaculately against his friend, the streamer that he adored and loved. He might be able to solo kill him again in this matchup. Diving in, will shut down Concept.
The Q not landing from Concept. He actually hits a minion there. That might have been the difference between winning and losing that fight, but that's the second time Soul finding the solo kill, going up against Concept. Soul, he seems like he really wants to win this game. He's constantly going for these fights. And remember, Surdy was saying he's always looking for these angles to get back in. He's looking to try and find these solo kills.
Oh, but Prismal might be punished for staying a bit far. I'm surprised that TSM did not fully commit to the mispositioned Renata Gloss.
Now TSM, as they take away yet another red buff. And Anda is still trying to make a lot of these plays happen, right? He's consistently going forward. He's creating a lot of pressure, but he's not doing it in the same kind of like crazy way that players like Hyper might, where they're going to be relying so much on their mechanics to jump in and kick people around. He's been much more controlled about the way that he's trying to make a lot of these plays. Not necessarily diving into the back line. We haven't seen him go for crazy ward hops into trying to find his way onto Array for a kick flash or anything like that. He's still waiting and biding his time.
But now we're at a point where this game is pretty even if you just look at the gold. Despite the fact that it's a 4-kill difference and 3 dragon difference, that's really what makes this more so than just the 1,000 gold lead Golden Guardians have, is the dragon.
Ooh.
And so if they can get a pick like this for TSM, they can actually kill leader. That's going to be massive. But Takeover had to go golden. Now they got the TP coming in, and TP answered by Soul. And he doesn't have the Mega Narf status. He doesn't have the bar built up. So they'll have to see if they can force away GG. Still a minute and a half until Dragon will spawn.
Yeah. Good attempt, and now Golden Guardians are shifting all their damage topside, but their tanks, they don't have a whole lot of support. They get caught out. Soul trying to run them down.
Trying to run them down, but with Leader and Array both wailing away on that turret, should be able to turn towards Soul, and Soul does not have any reinforcements of his own. He notices Acadian. Look at this. He's so far away, and they're just hard committing for this structure. They're hard committing to take down an inhibitor turret, so now they have to peel back for Soul. He's got Mega Up. He uses it, tries to get the damage, but it's a shutdown picked up by Concept with Takeover in the backline, but everyone else on TSM is struggling unless they can kill Leader. Tactical got a shutdown for himself.
The Raze reset
is getting the damage, but it's a Raze reset now. Jinx popping off. Flash does not help you because the chop slowed down, and more kills, more goals for Array. Why didn't you do this last game?
Oh no, you had to tweet something you didn't want, but now Golden Guardians are taking over the Baron. They have control. They can go right on over to the Dragon as well. They should be able to pick everything up. Remember, Concept getting tankier and tankier every single objective that they are taking. But this play, this is the big moment for Array, right? He's looking to try and find the pocket of safety, and because all of TSM is coming from the top side of the fight and only Takeover is coming in for the flank, Array only has one person he needs to worry about. He's got the movement speed, and he's able to create space between him and the Sylas. And once you get those resets to come through from Array, it's so difficult for the rest of TSM to actually play. He's finally got the damage, he's got the attack speed to run them down.
Reset City. Jinx is great when you get that first kill, because then afterwards you're just popping off. A triple kill for Array, 5-0-5 in this game. Where it doesn't necessarily have the stakes, but it's pride. It's about having confidence for Proving Grounds. Array should be feeling pretty confident in this game.
Mia cut out a little bit. Soul on a flank, trying to create some pressure. They can't afford to give over the Mountain Soul.
Crystal is waiting. There's Mia's engage, and hostile takeover over the wall. Gonna connect on a 4 people. So Tactical falls alongside, and it's a double kill for Shyvana. The Dragon should be secured with a Realm Warp away to chase down Soul. It doesn't matter if Concept's slow. He's got 3 dragons to his name. The tankiness that the Shyvana gains is just too much to overcome for TSM as they book it back to the base.
And Golden Guardians, they just send it right up the pipe, right? Concept just is able to full send it. Oh!
Soul. That was close.
Leader not quite finding them on the recall, but Golden Guardians now in full control of the game. Mountain Soul, 4 dragons, so much extra resist coming through for Concept. And TSM, not really putting up much of a fight in this one. It just feels like Golden Guardians are consistently the ones making plays. They're consistently trying to find something to do. And now Anda finally goes in.
Gets a kick, but it's onto Acadian, not onto Array. Couldn't drag him back in the base. Exactly, in the wrong way as well. So Golden Guardians continue with Baron buff on most of their members to push back in and make sure they're toppling every outer structure.
So we'll see if Soul can try and find a couple more solo kills in order to actually bring them back, because at this point it's looking pretty darn dire. TSM, their base is falling.
Nice cancel. I like that cancel out of Acadian to make it more difficult for Soul to get back and retreat with the team. So with these minions pouring in, Baron still on the head of Golden Guardians. TSM have to pull off a miracle. That's a hostile takeover. It will only connect onto tactical, but it buys enough time for the turret to be secured for Golden Guardians. And with the pride on the line, the final game of Academy, Golden Guardians want to end it all with a win. Something that they struggled with at the beginning of the season, but now they could get one final win.
Oh, Prismal throwing out the handshake. He's a little bit caught
Had to
out.
flash.
Has to flash. Here's a teleport from Soul.
Soul's got a TP flank. Mia has to dive back away, but the pillar is already committed. Soul does not have Vigor, but he is stacking up that rage bar at the moment, getting so close. His takeover is taken low by the leader. Is away from the team. They don't have the engage angle, or do they? Realm Warp used to try to get away, and Array is left out to dry, shut down. But Golden Guardians have minions. Do they just try to end the game right here? I don't think that they can, but they can at least topple the inhibitor turret top.
I gotta say though, regardless of whether or not it was a good play, that was the funniest play I think I've ever seen in Academy. You bring 4 people with you to try and backdoor the Nexus, except for the one person that you need, right? Array left in one single spot all by himself, and unfortunately his deathless game, I feel like that was mostly his fault, but maybe he was just a little bit too far, doesn't quite find himself into the Realm Warp, and it buys TSM a little bit more time, maybe enough to flip over the Elder Dragon.
Maybe.
Maybe.
That is hoping for a lot. 2 minutes time, it will be Baron time. A minute after that, some change will be Elder time. With only one inhibitor structure that stands alone, no turret to protect it. Golden Guardians don't necessarily need to get these objectives. All they need to do is make sure the waves are crashing simultaneously.
Yeah, and making sure that TSM don't have opportunities to go for another teleport flank like we saw. Golden Guardians now pushing in as they take control of more vision, trying to turn things around. They had some good games earlier in this split, right? The second round robin, they took games off of Team Liquid, 100 Thieves, CLG. That's half of the top teams that we already have. And now they're threatening to beat up TSM as well, taking revenge for the first game and at least saying that they can walk away with a 1-1.
Walking away with a 1-1 when you're getting close to playing best of 3 is a change of format. Could be a way, well, not could be, it is a way to show that you're going to be a team that can compete with the best. That regardless, if you lose the first game, you'll have what it takes to battle back under pressure. That you can find fights and find angles to win these games, but you still have to complete it. Anda has the flank on the other side, but it might be a little bit too late. There's the Dragon Ascent with the hostile takeover. Anda gets the kick on Array, but nobody was there to follow up. Anda's trying to do it himself, but he could not do it. Golden Guardians wiping out TSM. Pride, they can be proud. They can be glorious in this game, picking up their 9th win of the season and ending the season with a W after starting with nearly nothing for so long. Golden Guardians can hold their heads high and be proud that they still pick up W's.
And Golden Guardians, now that they pick up this win, they have a bit more momentum walking into Proving Grounds. Again, remember, it doesn't matter. We can discard almost the entire regular season coming in from Golden Guardians just because they played with so many different players. They had to get so many different subs to come in, but now this is their roster. It's not about how they did in the regular season, it's about how they do in Proving Grounds. And so, Leader coming in the last couple of weeks in order to try and make sure the team can function. He's been looking quite good. Array just had a great game, except for one of the funniest excerpts I've ever seen in this last game.
You know, sometimes you just don't board the groovy train and get caught out by
the groovy train?
Yeah.
Gotta do the conga line together?
Yeah, exactly. But you know what? It is still a W. You still win the game. It's a 1-1 series to end off the regular season for Academy. We're going to toss to a break. When we come back, we'll have Kangas here for our final interview of the season, of the split as well. So make sure you stay tuned.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back for our post-series interview with the one and only Golden Guardians Acad laner, Leader. I can't believe it's taken this long to get you on the broadcast, Leader, but thank you so much for coming on and chatting with us. Congratulations on ending your season with the win.
Thank you for having me.
A great final week, honestly, for Golden Guardians Academy. Let's be honest, because you're coming into a roster and a team that were struggling a lot in the season, and now you're ending 4-2. So my first question for you are, what are your thoughts on the team's performance this week, and also on your own play this week?
I mean, this week we for sure did better than last week. Last week I came in, we didn't really scrim. We just went in and tried playing, but it was already kind of down in the dumpsters, like how we were doing already. It was like kind of hard to properly play because when you lose so much, you don't even know if the right things you're doing are right or wrong. So it's like really hard to see. But with more scrims this week, even though we didn't get enough, I would say it was like 2 days or something and 3 days of scrims, and it was much better at least than last week. Obviously, performance-wise, right now I'm trying to focus more like that we can play as a team, so we get the fundamentals down. And obviously, I'm trying to lead as well, inside and outside of the game, and I would say it's going pretty well.
Yeah, what was the experience like coming into a completely new team, completely new organization, different culture, fit entirely, and then to still have to perform in the game at a high level?
Honestly, it wasn't that hard. I think everyone is really easygoing. It's really easy to adapt to. We can understand each other. We can have fun with each other. Humor is not that different as people would expect, I would say. So it was pretty easy to get along with, and it was easy to play as well, just because of that.
Well, I'm happy to hear that things are working out so far early on. I'm curious though, because of course it was a big story to hear that you were making the move here to North America, Golden Guardians picking you up. So I'm curious from a personal perspective, what made you want to come to North America and play here?
As you know, it's pretty hard to find teams in the middle of the year, let's say, like for summer season. And I took a break in spring. I regretted quite a lot. I wanted to play as soon as possible. So I just took the best possible option I had in front of me, which was Golden Guardians Academy, because, like I said, it's hard to get other options, because many teams are not looking to change mid laners or any players for that. So it's like it was interesting. Let's just put it that way. It was just a little bit annoying that my visa took so long to arrive and get confirmed. So I missed like more than half of the season. So it's like a little bit annoying about that. But at least I'm allowed to play now. So I'm happy with that.
That was such a stressful situation to be in. I remember following you on Twitter and kind of seeing all that drama unfold, not knowing that the second, round of visa applications even less likely to get accepted. What were you focused on while you were waiting? You know that the plan is to come and play with the team. You're not able to be here, so what were you focused on during that time?
I mean, obviously, first thing is to be in shape myself. Play as much as I possibly can. Don't burn myself out, and play and be ready to play basically competitively. Watch other VODs of other teams. And the second thing was watch how my team was doing and try to see and identify what their problems was from an outside perspective, non-biased, I would say, because there can be a lot of bias even for coaches and players when they're like trying to be how to say constructive about and approaching issues. So I think I had it was quite a big advantage for me to look at it from an outside perspective, just watching scrims, watching gameplay, and it was pretty easy to identify what our problems were. And I would say it's pretty easy to fix those problems. It just takes some time. That's all. It's not hard problems to fix. It's just time craving.
And having an outside set of eyes, I'm sure, is really helpful in identifying that, like you had said. So now you are following a long trend of EU players making the trek here to North America to play in our region. So I gotta ask, what's your goal? What do you hope to accomplish in your time here in North America?
I mean, I like to take it one step at a time. Right now, I want to win Proving Grounds. That would be the first step. And after that, we will see.
All right, setting your eyes on what's in front of you right now, and that is Proving Grounds around the corner. Now, obviously, you will be going in still as the 10th seed from Academy. So what's the team going to be focused on going forward? Are you going to take a break this weekend, or is it right back to scrims, focused on trying to improve as much as you can before next week?
As far as I know, we're going to be playing more. We can't sit down and like not do anything right now. So many teams have been practicing for so long. One split plus, and with just a new team, many different changes already happening throughout this whole year. So we need to get our synergy together, get to play with each other, understand each other more, and the only way we can do that is by scrimming more.
Well, I'm happy to hear that the team's taking it seriously and putting the time in. But I do have to say, it's good to relax and explore a little bit once you're in a new area. Have you had any opportunity to explore LA yet?
I've had enough opportunities. Yeah, I've been walking around, visiting different restaurants, been in different areas, and
Okay.
it's different than Europe. Let's put it that way. It's interesting in
What's
its
your
own way.
What's the favorite food that you've gotten so far?
Right now, I've been going to Boa Week House, or I mean not Week House. We call it Week House because it's so good, but it's Boa Steakhouse.
Okay.
So we've been going to that place with some friends, other Europeans, and it's probably my favorite restaurant for now.
I haven't had it. I'll have to give it a try sometime. Thank you so much, Lita, for coming on. Any final message that you have for anybody else out there watching, maybe some folks at home?
I mean, I would say just keep watching us. Don't give up on us. We're basically a new team. Other teams have been, like I said before, working together. So just give us some time and we won't disappoint you.
All right. Thank you so much, Leader. Everybody keep your eyes on Golden Guardians Academy. Best of luck going into your prep for next week.
Thank you for having me.
And we'll bring back on the casters here to close out the show. Awesome to finally chat with Leader. I can't believe that was our first time having him on broadcast, but it was cool that they had an insane week. 4-2. That's actually a marked improvement for Golden Guardians Academy.
And against some tough teams as well, right? It's not as though they're just pushing over some of the bottom tier teams. They 2-0'd CLG yesterday, man.
Yeah, I mean, that was one of the biggest, I think, upsets that we've seen so far. So that brings us into a conversation because I know that the two of you are aware of this. You've been around the block enough times. Every split in Proving Grounds, one of the bottom-ranked teams, like the lowest-seeded teams, make a deep run. It's happened consistently. I mean, I would even say like it was 100 Thieves, basically, this last split in summer of last year. Golden Guardians made a deep run with Immortals. Yeah, so every time we have one of like the bottom 7 seeds make a run all the way to like top 4. Who's going to do it this time? I want to hear from both of you. Joshi, you're up first. Who's going to be your dark horse? Huh?
FlyQuest.
FlyQuest. That's a pretty good. That's a safe bet. Now
yeah, it's a pretty safe one.
Top 6.
You said bottom 7. That gives me a lot of room to work with, especially since they have been on such a large upswing. I think the only other. I mean, I feel like the 3 potential answers that I could give is FlyQuest at number 1, Evil Genius is 2nd, and Golden Guardians 3rd.
That's a good answer.
Oh, you're counting them. I thought you were trying to get me to throw it to you.
No, I was counting them. I'm like, those are all the 3 good ones.
Well, I'm looking at the standings right now, thinking I don't think that FlyQuest is a low enough seed to be a dark horse. Personally,
you said bottom 7 seeds. That gives me a lot of teams to play with.
I said that, but I meant 7th seed and below. But regardless, Magical. Now that we have the actual rules set, I'm even gonna say even further down. We got to go 10th or 9th seed. Who's making the deeper run, improving?
I don't think that's fair because I'm conflicted between TSM Academy and Golden Guardians Academy. I think
you are.
I actually think that of the 3, well, we have our 4 bottom 4 teams. 3 of them, I think, are going to be surprises. I think 3 of them are going to shock a lot of people and be like, be able to make a pretty good run.
All right, we did one bet for Golden Guardians versus TSM on broadcast today, Magical. How do you feel about a bet for Proving Grounds as a whole? Who makes it further in Proving Grounds between the two?
Oh, God.
Because
that's hard.
I'll say Golden Guardians got my vote. After interviewing Lita right there, he's like, nope, no break this weekend. We're getting right into scrims. We're practicing, and we're going to be in good form going forward.
It's all GG, man. I'm definitely going for Golden Guardians as the dark horse between the two of them.
I gotta be a contrarian then. TSM.
Okay. You're taking TSM. Yep. All right. How about this? Because it's simple colors, right? Silver for TSM, gold for Golden Guardians.
Okay.
Whoever makes it further in Proving Grounds, the other person has to dye their appropriate hair. So me, beard, obviously. Yourself, your hair. The color of the team that they did not vote for. So I'm going Golden Guardians. That means I'd have a silver beard. You would have gold hair, which is basically what you have.
I was about to say, this doesn't sound like a
I'll
bet.
do it with you, Kangas. I'll do it with you. It's a little bit more striking.
There
we both said Golden Guardians.
Yeah, we would both have silver hair then. Joshi will just do it with whoever loses. How about that?
It's more like I'm willing to do this. It's just, if it's gold, there's not really a change.
But I think there's enough of a change. It'll look ridiculous enough if we get like the really cheap spray-ons.
Make it sparkly. Make it sparkly.
Yeah, okay, that's a good idea. Oh, let's get the sparkles in there.
I do like that. But with that said, that is the final match of the Academy Summer season, which means we have all the stats compiled from the Academy summer season. So let's take a look at our Samsung SSD Fast 5 for week 7 and see who has the most impressive stats of the split. As always, Joshi, I'm going to have you start. When you're looking at this, what is jumping out to you immediately as, damn, that's an impressive stat?
You have 4 members of Cloud9 already appearing on this. Shaden, Copy, King, and Destiny all appearing in the top 3 for their different roles. That's impressive when you all have such a great sequence of early game power that will really allow Cloud9 to potentially have way more success in Proving Grounds.
And you know who's not on there from Cloud9 is Darshan. But Surdy is! All right, the rivalry continues. Magical, what about you? What's jumping out to you?
I like the Destiny one, looking at how he has a pretty good lead over both Joey and Ayla, who are somehow tied for the exact same fastest item transformation. But then I also kind of want to look at the fastest 10k gold. King and Gon, both under 18 minutes. Normally we see that most of the players don't even crack the 20-minute mark, let alone get this low into the 17 mark. I think that's impressive from both of them.
Even props to Array being close to that 20-minute, still considerably further behind Yan and King, who have, I don't even remember what games those were. Those must have been insane games. King, that's, 17 minutes. Kind of absurd. But that is the most impressive stats we had from week 7 so far, or rather at the end of the week, because that is it. So let's take one final look at the standings, because I'm gonna get emotional, guys.
I know.
This is the last time we'll actually look at the standings for the summer split, because these are the definitive standings. Congratulations to Team Liquid Honda. What a lead over the competition.
But it could be the first seed curse. It cursed CLG last time around. So Team Liquid Honda, they claim that first seed, and we'll have to see if they can make sure they do not fall victim to what CLG had happen to them in spring.
Yeah, but look at that lead. This is one of the most dominant seasons we've ever had, right? Breaking the 80% win rate Team Liquid has and a 6-game lead over the next team. I don't think we've ever seen that many games ahead from a single team in Academy before. Team Liquid are absolutely nuts. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Team Liquid Academy would already, right now, be a mid-tier LCS team.
It's kind of absurd how dominant they are when we also look at the expected competition of 100 Thieves Academy, who 6 full games behind Cloud9 Academy. We had a lot of high hopes for. Even Dignitas was turning our heads towards the end of the split, but nope. Congratulations, Team Liquid Honda. Coach Spawn and all the players over there are putting on a clinic, looking to make another run. But Magical, you do bring up a good point. Our first seeds have been cursed in the last couple of Proving Grounds.
Last year, it was the 2nd seed curse. This year, it's the 1st seed curse. It's changed slightly, but still one of our top teams usually has difficulties when it comes to the Proving Grounds. They get a little bit too big for the britches. Think they don't really need to worry too much, that they can just go in there, they're going to smash, and then suddenly get upset.
I'm not going to say that it's at fault of the high seeds, of that they're not taking it seriously enough. I always credit it that the other seeds, the lower seeds, they're hungry, they're working hard, and still at this level.
I agree with you, because you look at Golden Guardians, you look at TSM, look at Evil Geniuses, all of them are very ravenous to make sure that they're going to have a good look in Proving Grounds.
Yeah, and it's like our song said, right? It's not about who is higher on the tier list. It's about who actually shows up on the day. And sometimes, you know, if you have a bad day, there's always the question, can somebody on their best day beat you at your worst? Well, yeah, we've seen that plenty of times before. And we have to see how well Team Liquid and Cloud9 100 Thieves will be able to play throughout the entire event. Because it's not just one series that you got to play. You got to play consistently well for another month.
Crazy to think the Proving Grounds already starts next week. We do still have to figure out the final seeds for the amateur teams coming in, so make sure you're supporting that. But that's going to be a wrap for the Academy Summer regular season, everybody. And a big special thank you from the bottom of our hearts to everybody in production at Esports Engine who have poured their blood, sweat, and tears into this product. They've been fantastic to work with and partner with. Make sure to go support them. If you follow any of them on Twitter, let's hype them up a lot. I'm sure that we'll have a tweet going out on our own socials, but they have just been incredible. And I believe that there was one person that couldn't be in this photo, so we should have a segue. There we go, Katie!
There we go. Let's
as
go,
well,
Katie.
helping us out here. Oh, we've got Rafa and Joshi behind. Right? Hey, look at that.
There we go.
Joshi making a secondary appearance.
Yeah, Joey,
seriously,
you're looking a
thank
bit
you.
like a Pokeball with that shirt, gotta say. Looking pretty good.
We couldn't do it without Esports Engine. We couldn't do it without Kelsey Moser, our fantastic producer, who's wrangled all of us crazy folk here on the broadcast and made sure that we have direction and focus on all the player stories going into Proving Grounds, a big tournament. Thank you to my amazing casters. You guys killed it today as you killed it on all of the days on broadcast. We've really scaled up the production quality, and I can feel it from past years, and especially the biggest thank you to all the players who put on the performance and the fans that cheer them on. We will be back at Proving Grounds to see the top of amateur clash against all of Academy as we battle for who is next to join the LCS. I'll see you there.